Hi guys, my name is Jomel Visanese and today I will tell you about the evolution of operating system. Evolution of operating system. Electronic computers were first introduced in the 1940s. They were created without any operating system during this generation. Computers were generally used to solve simple math calculation. Operating systems were not necessarily needed. ENIAC, or Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It is used by US Army to calculate complex wartime ballistic tables, built between 1943 and 1945. The first large-scale computer to run at electronic speed without being slowed by any mechanical part. The next one is Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator or EDSA. Was an early British computer. The machine was constructed by Maurice Wilks and his teams at the University of Cambridge Mathematical Laboratory in England. ESOC was the second electronic digital stored program computer to go into regular service. The next one is EDVAC. Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer was the one of the earliest electronic computer. Unlike its predecessor, ENIAC, it was binary rather than decimal, and it was designed to be a stored program computer. Other one is BINAC, also known as Binary Automatic Computer, was an early electronic computer designed for Northrop Aircraft Company by Aircraft Matchley Computer Corporation. The next one is UNIVAC, a Universal Automatic Computer, was a line of electronic digital stored program computers starting with the products of Aircraft Matchley Computer Corporation. Later the name was applied to a division of Remington Rand Company and a successor organization, IBM. Next evolution is second generation, between 1955 to 1965. The IBM 701, or Electronic Data Processing Machine known as the Defense Calculator, was IBM's first commercial scientific computer and its first series production mainframe computer, which was announced to the public on April 29, 1952. It was invented and developed by Jerry Haddad and Nathaniel Rochester based on the IAS machine at Princeton. The last one is Fortran, or Formula Translation, computer programming language created in 1957 by John Backus that shortened the process of programming and made computer programming more accessible. Fortran enabled the rapid writing of computer programs that run nearly as efficiently as programs that have been laboriously hand-coded in machine language. Next, third generation between 1965 to 1980. It was called GMOS and was created by General Motors for IBM machine, the 701. Operating system in 1950s were called single stream batch processing system because the data was submitted in groups. These new machines were called mainframes and they were used by professional operators in large computer rooms. Since there was a high price tag on this machine, only government agencies or large corporations were able to afford them. By the late 1960s, operating system designers were able to develop a system of multi-programming with which a computer program will able to perform multiple jobs at the same time. The introduction of multi-programming was a major part in the development of operating system because it allowed CPU to be seen nearly 100% of the time that it was in operation. The compatible time-sharing system was one of the first time-sharing operating systems. It was developed at the MIT Computation Center. CTSS was first demonstrated on MIT's IBM 709 in November 1961. Members the MIT user began in the summer of 1963 and was operated until 1973. The MCP Master Control Program is a proprietary operating system that promotes large systems, including this Unisys ClearPath MCP system. Originally written in 1961 in Oxford, Executive System Programming Language, which itself was an extension of Borough Extended ALGOL in the 1970s. It was converted to NEWP, a better structured, more robust, and more secure from ESPOL or SPOL. The history of Unix dates back to the mid 1960s, when the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, AT and Bell Labs, and General Electric were jointly developing and implementing time-sharing operating system called Multics for GE645 mainframe. Multics introduced many innovations but had many problems. Supported operating system features by 1970s. Multi-user and multitasking was introduced. Difference between multi-user and multitasking is that a multi-user operating system enables two or more users to run programs simultaneously, while multiprocessing operating system supports two or more processors running programs at the same time. Dynamic address translation hardware and virtual machine came into picture. Modular architectures came into existence. Personal interactive system came into existence too. The Intel 4004 is a 4-bit central processing unit released by Intel Corporation in 1971. It was first commercially produced microprocessor and the first in a long line of Intel CPUs. A chip design implemented with the MOS silicon gate technology started in April 1970 and was created by Federico Fagin, who led the project from beginning to completion in 1971. VM is a family of IBM virtual machine operating system used in IBM mainframes, System 370, System 390, Z series, System C, and compatible system, including the Hercules emulator for personal computer. First edition of Unix manual based on a version that ran on PDP-11 at that time. The operating system was 2 years old, having been ported from the PTP-7 to the PTP-11-20 in 1970. The system also had the AB and Fortran compiler, a basic interpreter advice files and function for managing punch tape, DEC tape, and RKO file disks. 1974 Altair Basic is the discontinued interpreter for the basic programming language that ran on MIT's Altair 8800 and a subsequent Pi S-100 bus computer. It was a micro first product as Micro-Soft distributed by MIT's under contract. Altair Basic was the start of the Microsoft Basic product range, founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. The Apple II, stylized as Apple, is an 8-bit home computer and one of the world's first highly successful mass-produced microcomputer products. It was designed primarily by Steve Wozniak. Steve Jobs oversaw the development of Apple. Its foam molded plastic case and Ron Holt developed the switch power supply. It was introduced by Jobs and was at 1977 West Coast Computer Fair and marks Apple's first launch of personal computer aimed at the consumer's market, branded towards American household rather than businessmen or computer hobbyists. Fourth generation, 1980 to 2015. The IBM personal computer is the first computer released in IBM PC model line. Released on August 12, 1981, it was created by a team of designers and engineers directed by Don Estridge in Boca Raton, Florida. The Macintosh, or Mac, is a series of several lines of personal computer, manufactured by Apple Incorporation. It was introduced by January 24, 1984 by Steve Jobs. Windows 3.0 is a third major release of Microsoft Windows launched in 1990. Like its predecessor, it's not an operating system, but rather a graphical operating environment that runs on top of the OS. It features a new graphical user interface where applications are represented as clickable icons as opposed to the list of file names seen in its predecessor. Linux began in 1991 as a personal project by Finnish student Linus Torvalds to create a new free operating system kernel. Windows NT is a family of operating system version produced by Microsoft. The first version of which was released on July 27, 1993. It is a processor-independent, multi-processing, and multi-user operating system. iOS phones OS 1 is the first major release of iOS, Apple's mobile operating system. Apple marketing user simply stated that iPhone runs on a version of Apple desktop operating system, macOS, then known as macOS X. On March 6, 2008, with the release of iPhone Software Development Kit, Apple named it iPhone OS. They later went to name it iOS on June 7, 2010. It was succeeded by iPhone OS 2 on July 11, 2008. Android is a mobile operating system based on a modified version of the Linux kernel and other open source software designed primarily for touchscreen mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. Android is developed by a consortium of developers known as Open Handset Alliance, conventionally sponsored by Google. It was unveiled in November 2007 with the first commercial Android device launched in September 2008. It is free and open source software. Its source code is known as Android Open Source Project. It is primarily licensed under Apache license. However, most Android devices ship with additional proprietary software pre-installed, most notably Google Mobile Services, which includes core apps such as Google Chrome, the digital distribution platform Google Play, and associated Google Play Service Development Platform. Windows 7 was released by Microsoft on October 22, 2009 as the latest in 25-year line of Windows operating system as the successor of the Windows Vista. Windows 7 was released in conjunction with Windows 7 Server 2008 R2, Windows 7 Server counterpart. Enhancement and new feature in Windows 7 included multi-touch support, Internet Explorer, and improved performance, faster startup time, and a new improved media center and improved security. Windows 8 was released on August 1, 2012. It was a completely redesigned operating system that has been developed from the ground up with touchscreen use in mind, as well as a near instant capabilities that enables a Windows 8 PC to load and start up in a matter of seconds rather than in minutes. Replace the more traditional Microsoft Windows OS look and fill the new Metro design system interface that first debuted in the Windows Phone 7 rating system. The Metro user interface primarily consisted of a start screen made up of live tiles, which linked to application and features that were dynamic and updated in real time. The end of the presentation.